Good morning, this is Simon Bell from Stone Town Conservatives, and I'm down our high street. This morning I'm going to be introduced to Jamie Richards, who's the CEO of AED Donate, a charity. And I said to him, I don't really know what AED Donate do, so why don't you talk about your charity and let's see what we can learn. There it is, absolutely super frontage, really professional, and that would really encourage me to come and have a look and see what AED do. Hey, how are you?
How are you?
Jamie, very, very good to meet you.
And you?
So, gosh, beautiful, really nicely decorated and turned out very professional.
Very bright, isn't it?
It is, it is. So, Jamie, this is down our high street. Could you just talk to me about your background, where you're from, and how come you're CEO of a charity?
Okay, so back 6 years ago, I left the fire service. I was retained firefighter at Stone, and I also worked full time at the headquarters at Aston.
Yeah.
What I saw during the fire service was I went along to a session and learned how to use a defibrillator
Right.
as they were on the trucks, and it very quickly became apparent that this box could save somebody's life.
Okay.
So yeah.
So you started the charity
on
your own?
On my own,
okay.
From my spare bedroom at home. And then, yeah, we
you
got
quickly
the office.
outgrew that?
Very
All
quickly
right.
outgrew that. Took the big decision to leave the fire service.
So, gosh.
And an office and 2 shops later, 6 years down the line, we're just installed over 1,900 units into the community now.
Goodness me. Now, I know that in Stone Town itself, there
Yeah.
are, I think, 20
There's
defibrillators.
around 20 defibrillators
Okay.
in Stone, there or thereabouts.
Right, and how much do they cost, though?
So for a full for a full external campaign, £2,000.
Right.
That's for the defibrillator, the cabinet, installation, training,
Okay.
registration with the ambulance service. That's the key part, to make sure that they're going to be deployed when they need to be deployed.
And I think not this year, obviously, but last year there were 28 Category 1 calls.
Yeah, so during 2018, our stats say that there are 28 Category 1 calls in
Right.
Stone where the patient didn't travel to hospital.
Right.
We don't have data on the defibs. The ambulance service don't provide that.
Okay.
But what we do have locally is our deployments, and we know that,
Right.
that the Oatcakes and Milkshakes defib was deployed just 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So they are getting deployed time and time again.
Fantastic. And I know we actually did a video with Stephen down there
Yep.
as well.
Yeah.
So, right, we know defibs save lives.
Yep.
Okay, so what happened during COVID? Goodness me.
So COVID struck, and we weren't kind of expecting it to be, as it's one of those, isn't it?
Yeah,
It'll
completely.
never happen to us.
Yeah.
And it did. But as a charity, we had to close the shops. We had to furlough quite a lot of the team. But what we also had to do was remain open and
Right.
available to the communities that we serve.
Sure. And I think you stayed throughout the whole pandemic lockdown.
Yeah.
Available obviously.
24/7. Now, during the beginning of lockdown, our deployments were through the roof because the NHS was extremely busy.
Sure.
And the NHS was certainly a hot topic at the time, wasn't it?
Right.
And still is. But defib deployments were just sky high. What we've also got is 1,900 units out there that all require new pads every 2 years.
Okay.
You'll require new batteries every 2 to 4 years.
So that's continual
depending on
maintenance.
device.
Okay.
So it's continual. But our challenge at the beginning of lockdown was we've got 1,900 sites. Majority of those are within businesses or communities,
Okay.
and those businesses and communities are closed.
Sure.
So we had to take that hit, and we've just invested just shy of £14,000 during lockdown.
Goodness.
To make sure that those defibs are ready and available for those
Brilliant.
communities.
Okay, so the other thing is, I think when we chatted, you were able to get your council grants.
We did have a
which
council
is
grant for the
brilliant.
shop, yeah.
And furloughed your
And we've-
really important staff.
Yeah.
And how many staff have you got?
We've got 11 across all 3 sites.
Goodness me.
Majority of those are part-time.
Okay.
But yeah, 11 staff.
Brilliant.
Without furlough, we wouldn't be here now.
So I know you're going, or you have done previously before lockdown, your training was done in here, and I think you can train up to 30 people.
We can train up to 30 in here, so of an evening we pull all of the rails to the back of the shop,
Right.
put down the seating and train as many people as we can, and we run those monthly, and it's free to anyone in the community.
Brilliant.
To come in and have a go.
Okay, so one of the things about this video and about our community down our high street is to try and get people to get trained up. So I know you're going to be doing a Zoom training session. I'd love to come along.
Okay, brilliant.
Okay.
Keep an eye on our website.
Yeah,
and
I certainly will.
As soon as we've got that plan, that will.
Okay.
As you can imagine, starting to bring staff back now.
Yep, fantastic. And if you can let us know, we'll post that on our Facebook site as well. So the future, Chief Executive of a registered charity.
Yep.
1900 defibs within the community.
And going up. We're
6
back
years.
installing now.
Really?
We are. We did install 2 sites during lockdown.
Okay.
They were classed to us as high-risk areas where there's no defibrillators, ambulance response times are poor, so we made sure that those sites went in, but we are starting to get back to...
Right, so let me ask you, I think, an important question.
Okay.
At what age can somebody start training?
Any age.
So, young kids?
Young kids. We, last year for Restart Heart Day, we went to my son's school. That's a primary school, and we trained every single class.
Goodness me.
From nursery right up to his year 4.
And is that in stone?
Levels. That's
Jamie?
in Utoxeter.
Utoxeter?
But obviously at different levels, but some form of knowledge went in.
So how about if we call out to Elaine's school and say to them,
installed a defib.
Where you've installed a defib, but actually importantly, what they should be doing is training some of their children, shouldn't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
Some of their students.
Why not?
So there's a call out to Elaine.
Anybody can use a defibrillator,
okay,
and it can happen to anyone, anywhere, at any time.
Right.
As we know, I used one last year in IKEA of all places.
Right. And how long does the training take, Jenny?
Full training here takes about an hour and a half.
Okay.
If we're talking awareness with classes and schools, then obviously we'll break that down because there's lots of people to go in.
So is there another does the training have to be done by you so that you actually validate it? Or could you do a video training? We can do video. So we class it as an awareness talk. Right. So they're gaining awareness. There's no certificate at the end of it. Okay. Because if it's certificated, then obviously it's a full course. Right. But awareness is key. So long as you know what to do, when to do it, and the machine talks you through anyway. Well, let's call out for some of our schools in Stone. Jamie, it's been a revelation. I'm so proud of what you've done. I know that you've had some awards, and hopefully we'll be able to raise the profile for you. Thank you. So Simon Bell, Stone Town Conservatives. Thanks very much indeed. Thank you very much, Simon.